Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge, I hope you're all doing well. This is a massive game for Chelsea and Arsenal in the title race for Arsenal in the 6th place Conference League race for Chelsea potentially, I don't really know. But they are obviously, it's a big game, and I think Arsenal beating Wolves at the weekend makes this game more interesting because I did worry about this after the Villa game. I really did, and the fact that they went to Wolves and won, they put themselves top of the league actually, Arsenal, it just gives it that edge where Arsenal really do need to win, Chelsea really do need to win. Let's have a look at the league table and just pop that there for you as well. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and I hope we get a good game. Sorry I was a little bit late. Apparently Palmer's ill, says John. That's why he's not in the team. Sorry if you don't know the teams, actually. I'll whack those up for you as well. But welcome to a Premier League game on a Tuesday night. Just think a week ago, it was all the drama of the Champions League, wasn't it? Not tonight. This is the Premier League. So we're ready to go. And there is no Cole Palmer for Chelsea because apparently he's not very well, which is probably making Chelsea fans not very well because he's far and away your favourite player. There's no doubt about that. Let me just put a tweet out because I was a little bit late. Sorry I was a bit late. I had a mouthful of nuts. Cashew nuts, plain. For those asking. Healthy. They are. Be part of the nut revolution. That sounds wrong. But, yep, cashew nuts for the win. Right, let me get that tweet out. That's done. Hope you're all doing well. So let's have a look at table. Well, interestingly with league table, Arsenal, top at the moment, could go 4 points clear of Man City. They obviously have 2 games in hand, but points on the board, Miss Ford. That's what it's all about. Jarek's been a member for 6 months. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I think, it's an interesting one, isn't it? In the sense that, let's have a look at this Arsenal side. You've got Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Odegaard, Partey and Rice. I like that midfield 3. I do like that midfield 3. I like it a lot. I like that midfield 3 a lot. I've spoken a lot about Arsenal's midfield this year, and I don't like it when Havertz plays there. I think they're better with Havertz down the middle up front. It's not ideal, but I think they're better with that. So I quite like the fact that they've gone with Odegaard, Partey and Rice. It gives them more oomph in the midfield against that Gallagher, Enzo and Caicedo midfield 3. And then obviously Saka, Havertz and Trossard up front. Bench looks all right for Arsenal as well. Jesus, Martinelli on the bench. Options. And then Chelsea. Chelsea are lining up as follows. No Carl Palmer, but Petrovic, Gilchrist, Disasi, Badiashile, Cucurella, Caicedo, Fernandez, Gallagher, Madueke, Mudryk and Jackson. I mean, that looks to me like a Chelsea side that's going to get beat. You take Cole Palmer out that team. I know he's only one player, but they look like a Chelsea side that's going to get beat. And also, I like that Gilchrist. I love the fact that he celebrated scoring that goal, but no Gusto as well, who I think has also been a reasonably good Chelsea player. I don't know what people think. I think Gusto's been reasonably good this season in a side that's obviously struggled a bit. So, yeah, that's your Chelsea side. I'm going with an Arsenal win. I would have gone with an Arsenal win anyway. And, Havertz was running through one-on-one there. He was offside. I'd say it was a good job he was offside there because I think that, I mean, he's clearly offside, but if they play it on, I think Havertz gets himself in front of the defender and he's about to get a shot off. So, for me, it's not enough of a foul, actually. No, he was offside anyway. I think they got that right. Be fair. But bit of a worry for Chelsea straight away as Arsenal get in behind. And, I mean, Chelsea cannot afford to... They almost get themselves within touching distance of the top 4, don't they? And then they sort of let it go. They're not top 4, top 6. And I think Man United, Newcastle and Chelsea find themselves in a similar position where they've all had a shit season. And it's like, if we can get Europa League football out of this and finish 6th, we've actually rescued something from a really, really shit situation. So interesting to see if Chelsea can. I mean, it would be a major shock if Chelsea were to win here. I don't think even their fans, the most positive of fans, would be expecting that tonight. You've been talking in your sleep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just give me a reason, just a little bit of luck. Get your questions in, by the way. Agony Bridge is here, ready to answer your questions. Must be a good week, actually. I've not had anything from the RSPCA, so we've obviously been all right on the last few streams. Hi, Mark. Please say a huge hi to Simo, Freddie and Toby driving down to Manchester from the Isle of Skye for tomorrow's game. Listening to you, says Schiller's there. Well, big shout out, lads. I mean, if that is tactical watching Man United, that is Messi-esque. If you're a Man United fan and you want to go to Old Trafford this year and you want to pick a game where we're going to win, you really can't pick. I'm not going to guarantee we're going to win, mind, but you can't pick any better than Sheffield United at home, who are absolutely shit away from home and bottom of the league. Do you fancy Leicester securing promotion tonight? Says Scarlett. I think Leicester are going up no matter what, aren't they? Really? I don't think there's any doubt about that. I've played the game. I think they're going up. They're going up. Okay, let me go. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you can subscribe to the channel. Oh, legends, everybody who's been listening to the podcast, by the way. Lots of people. I saw a comment yesterday saying I didn't even know this podcast exists. So if you don't know the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast exists, we do upload it on video on this channel anyway, but you can listen to it on Spotify. Get involved. Loads of people giving us really good feedback, but it has been going for a year. Declan Rice into the box. Trossard, goal. There you go. If you've just joined in on TikTok, you've just joined in at the perfect time. Arsenal lead 1-0 already. Easy for Arsenal. Chelsea look shit. They really do. Unfortunately, it's come down that young lad's side, Gilchrist. So happy when he scored that goal last week. He's the guy who's got to deal with the right-hand side with no Gilchrist. And look, he's inexperienced and he's young. And he's basically been done by Rice there. He's lost his man. And it's unfortunately... He's unfortunate there. I feel for him because that goal last week, he was so excited about it, wasn't he? And yeah, he's been done by Trossard and Rice there. I mean, it was just too easy at this level. I don't know anything about this Gilchrist guy, this Gilchrist lad. Is he a right back? Is he a winger? I don't know what he's. If you've got any Chelsea fans who can tell us, but he's been turned inside out there, and Cole Palmer's not playing. He's ill. Your boy Al, thanks for the follow on TikTok, legend. Keeper should have done better for me, says Gino. Beat on his front post. Yeah, I mean this is a brilliant start for Arsenal, by the way. Absolutely brilliant start for Arsenal. They've got that early goal, which you always want, which means Chelsea have got to open up. And the intensity from Arsenal here is very good. As from an Arsenal point of view, just going to look at that Villa home game and go, what? If only we'd won that game. If only we had. It doesn't get any easier for Chelsea, by the way. They've got to go to Villa on Saturday night, 8 o'clock. They did win there in the Cup, but they've got to go to Villa on Saturday night, and then they've got Spurs at home. So, still plenty of games left for Chelsea, but they've got a really a tough set of games coming up with Villa and Spurs. So, playing Football Manager and Fernandes is injured. Do I play Mount, Ericsson or Diallo at number 10? I love these sort of things, Ben. I would play... Well, I don't know how good they are in Football Manager, but I would play Mount in a computer game. Thanks for the follow, Harish and Tyler OBR. Appreciate that. Do you think you'd beat a horse in a fight, says Delusional Unicorn? Yeah. I've got one question. How's a horse going to beat me? I'm not stupid. Everyone knows if you walk behind a horse, then they've got a very good kick. But not only would you be stupid to walk behind a horse, you'd be a coward in a fight. You don't walk behind somebody in a fight. It's cowardly. You get what you deserve from a horse. A big kick in the fucking head. In a head-on fight with a horse, what's it going to do? Rear up and go... Rrr, rrr. I'd just go, what are you going to do with those hooves? I'll just take a step back. And then when it comes down, I'll uppercut you right on the fucking chin. And then you'll just go... and fall over. Top 5 Premier League managers, says somebody in the chat that it's just Chinese symbols, so I don't know what it is, but thank you very much. Tomiyasu's just took a nasty tackle on the ankle here. I think he'll be all right. Top 5 Premier League managers, get in the chat if you disagree, but I would say based on pure ability, you've got to go with... I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think who I put in at 5th. It's hard. It's really hard. I know my top 4, Emery, Arteta, Pep and Klopp. I don't know who I put in at 5th. I think Howe, Ten Hag and Pochettino have had really bad seasons because of injuries. Ange, it's his first season, so... I think that's a red card for Jackson. I think that's a red card for Jackson. I don't know what a red card is anymore. I genuinely don't know what a red card is anymore. He's put his foot up and he studs and got over the top of the ball. Albin says red. I thought... Josh Mack, thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, so my top 4 Premier League managers are here we go. Havertz, just pass it. Oh, you should have had a shot, you twat. Oh my God, that should have been 2-0. Jordan Leak, thanks for your super chat. Partey. Chelsea need to be very careful here. Pierce said it should have been a red as well. Our backline is horrid. Expect us to get a drubbing, says Blues enthusiast. What? Disarcy's weird. That game at the Etihad, he was brilliant. I personally don't rate Disarcy that much. You want consistency in a centre-back. And I think he can have good games, but I don't think he's consistent. He might become consistent, but... the thing about Chelsea is I just can't believe how much money you spent on defenders that actually haven't improved you. I mean, really, Chalobah and Silva at centre-back, and you spent all that money on other centre-backs. Very strange team from Chelsea, says Michael635. Thanks for the follow H-Bomb and DJM Walls on TikTok. Thank you very much for that. Make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube. Jay, thank you very much for joining the members club. Get your badge in. And Michael, thanks for the follow as well. Christian, Indigo. Username, Casper. Do you think it should have been a red, Mark, says Stephen? I do. But I don't know what a red card is anymore. I don't know what a handball is anymore. You know, you get people like Alan Shearer and... Even Ben Foster was on about it on the fill-in today, saying, you know, what Nottingham Forest complaining is a shambles. Why is it a shambles? Alan Shearer saying, what the fuck are they doing? I thought it was a parody. What's funny about it, Alan? What is funny about it? Like, as a fan, we don't know what's going on anymore. The beautiful game has been eroded by this shite officiating. We don't know what's a red. We don't know what's a handball. What we're left with is just the opinion of that particular referee on any given day. And as fans, we want to understand the game we're watching. If you're watching American football or rugby, you understand the rules because they explain them to you. In the Premier League, we don't know what's a red. What Jackson did then could be a red card for Casemiro tomorrow. Look at the weekend. Grealish's was the worst handball of the lot, not given. Wan-Bissaka's was, and then the Everton Forest one wasn't. We don't know what's going on. That's the problem. Becky, thanks very much for the follow. Liverpool fan, read an article saying Jose Mourinho might be the next coach of Liverpool. You've got no chance of that, Jordan. There'd be riots. Liverpool fans would not take Mourinho. Absolute bollocks. Chelsea away end have We Love Tuchel banner, says Cosper. They'll never take Tuchel back under Todd Bowley. Ashish says United People TV saying United stand is negative, Mark. Mate, I've met this guy in real life. He wouldn't say boo to a goose. I'm not interested in somebody on a fucking YouTube channel giving it out when he's met me and said absolutely nothing. And I went up to him and was like, oh, hi, Mark, how are you? Look, I don't know whether he said it or not, but that's the truth. So I don't really have time for this sort of nonsense. Like, if you've got a problem, why don't you say it then? United... Gunnar, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Me and my son Jake love United. Derek from Dublin. Eric Tenhagen, says Jake Riley. Thank you very much. Corner to Arsenal. What do you make of Arnie Slot to Liverpool? Well, talk to me. Talk to me. Cross comes in, headed away. Another corner for Arsenal. Talk to me, Liverpool fans. What is going on with the Liverpool manager? Because Liverpool are such a well-organised club. When Klopp announces he's going in January, I expect Liverpool would have a manager lined up. So what's gone wrong or right? Because the way I read it is, you thought you were going to get Alonso. Alonso's decided to stay, and it's led to a bit of a grabble to try and get a coach. Because you clearly haven't decided who it is yet. Arnie Slot's interesting, but in some ways... headed over the bar by Tomiyasu. Arnie Slot's interesting, but in some ways, it's an Eredivisie manager that's the hipster at the moment. And I wouldn't have a problem with that. I really wouldn't have a problem with that at all. But, you know, just be very careful of not being patient with it. I think that's the main thing, isn't it? Rami, welcome to the Members Club. You're a legend. Thoughts on Emery extending his contract with Villa? Has he done it, the HPN? Because if he has, it's only what I said would happen. All these prats saying that he'd go to Bayern Munich or he'd go to Man United. He won't. Chelsea on the break here with Jackson. Some might say a bit lucky to be on the pitch. He's done quite well on Saliba. He's still got it. Puts a cross in. Gabriel does his job. Saka clears it. Kyle says, although I'm a long-time City fan, 20 plus years, like what you've done there, Kyle, make sure you get the 20 plus years. You can't be 10. I love this channel. Appreciate your passion for the sport. Much respect. Thanks for all you do. Big up, Kyle. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. And Edwards is very good at keeping things quiet on the low, and it's clear journalists are unsure as well what's happening, says Tyler. Slothy, thank you very much for the follow. This is good play by Gallagher. Madueke is not that far off as well. If he gambles a little bit earlier, I think Gallagher put a good cross in there. Of course, Chelsea have got no Palmer tonight. So it does diminish their hopes somewhat. Exclusive 83 says Mark's an alcoholic. I haven't had a drink since last Thursday night, and it was one glass of red wine. Oh, I tell a lie. I had one on I think I had another glass on Saturday, or maybe it was the Man United game. Oh, you shouldn't chuck bloody stuff right. I could if I knew who you were, I could sue you for that. You can't throw stuff around like that. Just realise what you're saying. Bloody shut your face. Odegaard's positioning has been good, both attacking and defensively. He's almost everywhere, but never seems to rush. You're hot, says Charlie George. Thank you very much. User says, have you ever been to a live football game? I've been to plenty, mate, but I don't know why that's the certificate you need to get to be a proper football fan. I didn't know there was rules on that, but yeah, thankfully I've probably been to more live games than you because I am about 90. Cole Palmer's got the flu, says Matthew. Lil Creature says, not to ruin the mood, but I think my dog will be put down tonight. Glad to tune in and take my mind off things. I'm sad to hear that, Lil. I'm sure you get a lot of love in the chat. Just out of clarity, that's because it's not well. You're not doing it because you just had enough. And the only reason I ask that is I'm 99% sure you'll be doing it because your poor dog is ill. But I actually do know a couple of people who, I mean, I personally think it's bordering on abuse. Surely it's abuse. You can't just put your dog down because you don't want it anymore. I know somebody who did that. Chelsea just put a really good cross in there, but can we get some love in the chat for Lil's dog? Rest in peace, your dog, says Hannah. Exactly. A man's best friend or a woman's. Actually, I don't know whether that's true. I don't know where the saying "a man's best friend" comes from. I don't want to offend people because maybe there is a proper story that dogs are sexist and don't like women. I mean, look, we're all equal now, but the line is a man's best friend. I can live in 2024 and correct it and say a person's best friend, but dogs might be really sexist and say fuck off. I don't. No, we like men better than women. We're not a woman's best friend. We're a man's best friend. Don't speak for us. We're not woke. We're woof. Here's Saka. I think Arsenal do need the second goal here, and I do think they need the second goal. Chelsea have had the occasional foray south. Into the Arsenal box. Chicken biryani or chicken fried rice is poor. Well, I'm on a healthy diet kick at the moment. No, I'm not on a diet. I'm still getting all the calories I normally do. I'm just eating less shit, really. I don't really eat a lot of fried food anymore. But what I've found by not eating things like pizza and stuff anymore is that first couple of weeks I really wanted a pizza or fish and chips, but having done it for about 6 weeks, I really don't want to eat that type of food anymore. I don't know if that's normal. But I'd go biryani. Biryani's got the rice anyway. We're not woke, we're woof, says Nick. Thanks for the follow, Sam M and YXNG. Isn't Blue Lights a brilliant TV series, by the way? Oh, people told me to watch it for years. It's probably not been out for years. But brilliant. Absolutely love it. Especially the first season. Lovely play by Saka. He's took 2 players out. He's got a pass. You know what he was thinking there? One of the goals of the season. He needed to pass, but because he'd gone past 3 or 4 players, he was thinking, my name in the lights. Declan Rice. Ooh, again. He gets the shot off that time. It was closer. What's Goldbridge's favourite biscuit, Andy? Hobnob. If you want to put chocolate on, I won't say no. Walida says, Arsenal always play teams when they've got their big players out. Oh, come on, mate. So what did Man City do when they played against Villa the other week? I mean, they basically played Villa reserves. Cole Palmer's not playing, John. He has got the flu, apparently. Nathan, thanks for the follow. And Marcus. Who's going to win the league, says Andrew? Man City. 3 teams you want promoted from the Championship, says Langford. Well, the 3 teams I want to get promoted won't get promoted because one of them's in a relegation battle. But out of the teams that are fighting for relegation, I'd love to see Ipswich go up. I think it's a great story to go up from the League 1 and then to the Premier League. That'd be great. Obviously, Leicester, I think, will go up. And then from Southampton or Leeds, I prefer Southampton to Leeds, but I'm one of those people who likes the rivalries. So I'd like to see Leeds back because lovely play by Havertz into Tomiyasu. If they score from here, Odegaard's done really well. Oh, my God. Chelsea's defending is abysmal there. Ben White on the back post. Lays it off. Partey. Arsenal pushing for that. And we'll look at Jackson's pace here. He gets away from Saliba. Oh, it's the post from across. Off Gabriel. Goes for a corner. Oh, God, that was a big sneeze. Oh, it's a good one, that one's. Oh, yeah. I know what they mean now. I remember at school they used to say a sneeze was a 7th of a orgasm. I don't know about that, but that felt good. Felt like at least half of one. Isaac, thanks for the follow. Francis Hogan, thanks for the follow as well. Well, look, from a Chelsea point of view, their ability to break is quite interesting. I think Arsenal need the second goal. We're in London, aren't we, says Dylan? We are. Cleared away by Arsenal. Havertz. No, he's giving the foul. A lot of channels have followed your lead. Re-PGMOL, says Parker. Well, I think... I don't want to be arrogant, but I think a lot of channels follow the lead anyway, don't they? I mean, I just do little videos on what I want to talk about. I don't even put a proper thumbnail on. I just go. So... Look, the more people talk about that, the better. I think a lot of people are scared about talking about it, but I think the more people talk about it, the better. What's your favourite dessert, says Sean? Oh, God. I don't know, you know. I used to really like a Knickerbocker Glory, you know, the one in the big thing with the ice cream and the cream. Sticky toffee pudding, bit of custard. I like custard on a pudding, actually. I do like custard. I do like a good pudding. I'm not going to lie. What you make of your air fryer you got, Mark? Favourite thing to cook? Oh, air fryers are good. Air fryers are good. I mean, I got one for Christmas. Hold on a minute. Odegaard, Trossard. Chelsea got lots of defenders back, but wave after wave of Arsenal. It's really working well, this midfield 3 with Partey and shot straight at the keeper from Saka. Yeah, air fryers. I think my favourite thing to cook in an air fryer is sweet potato fries. So easy to do. And tastes really nice. But last night, I don't know whether you're a fan of butternut squash. Got a butternut squash, cut it into chunks, put it in the air fryer, and good save from Petrovic from Havertz. And they came out as roasted bits of butternut squash. So really healthy, but tasted so good as well. I found them better than chips. Oh my God, could have been 2-0. Shot from Trossard. Disasi pits his foot out, hits Petrovic, and he somehow keeps it out. Petrovic. Thanks for subscribing, Bobby. Arsenal very close to the second goal here. Good question, Logan, about air fryers. Homemade mini pizza in the air fryer is 10 out of 10. So you can cook a chicken in there, I suppose, as well. How's your nan, says Cag. They're both dead. Both still dead. Rest in peace. No, who's that? Well, Chelsea's only hope here is to somehow not concede the second goal and then get a good counter. Yeah, I've gone off chips lately. I find potato a little bit bland, if I'm being honest. Roast potatoes, banging. Would you rather trade Rashford for Vinicius or trade Anthony for Saka? Good, that's a great question by Angel. Saka's playing brilliantly today, you know. He's got Cucurella on toast. Cucurella on toast actually sounds like it would be a nice dish. And then they bring it out and they go, you've killed Chelsea's left back. I thought it was some sort of, you know, niche dish. It is, Mr. Goldbridge. It's Chelsea's left back on toast. Would you rather... So that's a good question. Would you rather trade Rashford for Vinicius Jr. or trade Anthony for Saka? Well, if you had prime Rashford, I think Saka on the right would be good. But in current form, I'd rather have Anthony on the right and Vinicius Jr. on the left. The Brazilian connection, Angel. I'm going to Japan with GB Team Judo. Can you wish me luck, says Jimmy. Good luck, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, good luck. Sounds great. Could you win a gold? Why are you going to Japan? It's in Paris, the Olympics. You're going to the wrong place, Jimmy. The Olympics are not... Hey, Jimmy, it's not... The Olympics are in Paris. They're not in Japan. Delusional Unicorn says, Mark, have you ever had trifle? I love trifle. A proper trifle, good trifle. The sponge has got to be good, not soggy. I don't like the soggy sponge. And the cream has got to be fresh. I don't want a trifle that's been in the fridge for 2 days, basically. I want it fresh. It's like a Victoria sponge. Victoria sponge is no good when it's 2 or 3 days old. You want it fresh out the oven, lovely fresh cream, jam, back of the net. Cucurella! Oh, blocked by Ben White. And a shot wide. I tell you what, Chelsea can get back into this game if Arsenal don't score the second goal. A Chelsea player you'd take at United that's not Palmer, says Charlie Max. Enzo Fernandez probably. I do like Conor Gallagher, but I think Enzo Fernandez is the best player they've got apart from Palmer. I feel I can't judge Ten Hag this season with the number of injuries, says Cal. Didn't have Martinez for most of the season. I'm one of the few that is Eric Ten Hag in because I don't see any good replacements. Cal, don't listen to bullshit. I genuinely think every poll I've seen, 65 to 70% want to keep Ten Hag. You've got to remember the vocal majority. The minority are always the loudest. Think Twitter before the last general election. You would have thought Labour were going to win the election by 90% of the votes. And they got absolutely pounded in the election because people who were voting Conservative just didn't get involved. They just went, I'm voting Tory. I don't care about all the noise. And that's what's going on with Ten Hag. The majority are still with Ten Hag, but it's the vocal minority that are making it sound like it's not, and the press. What's your craziest memory from the police days, says Jay? Oh, so long ago, mate. I'd have to have a think on that. Did you see Dermot on the Forest decisions? Unreal, says Josh. No. Are we talking about Dermot Gallagher? I mean, did he say any of them were penalties? Look, listen to the podcast. Watch the podcast on this channel. What I heard Mike Dean talking about it as well, saying that to accuse the PJ Mwala being biased is incredible. This is the same guy who sat and said that he didn't give a card against Chelsea because he didn't want to throw his mate under the bus. I mean, they couldn't lie straight in bed, this lot. They're hypocrites. They're absolute hypocrites. We are living in a dictatorship. I don't respect Dermot Gallagher, Michael Owen, Mike Dean, Carragher. They're all on the payroll. They're all in it together. And nobody is telling the truth. Nobody's speaking up for the fans. So I don't know why people watch it anymore. Why would you watch Ref Watch on a Monday morning with Dermot Gallagher apart from it's a bit of a sitcom? You know, imagine Dermot Gallagher being involved in let's think of something like the end of, you know, Thanos at the end of that Marvel film where he kills a load of people. Well, at the end of the day, you know, you can't blame him. He's had a tough life, and I think his finger slipped, and then it slipped again. And you know, people will say he's just taking out the opposition in a ruthless way, trying to take over the world. Personally, I think he's looking for a friend, and they're not, you know, they're not being nice to him. And you know what? It's not murder. It's not. It's just someone. His friends reunited. At the end of the day, he just wants to go out for a pint with them. And yeah, they've ended up losing their lives. But is it really murder? I don't think so. Not for me. Not that one. He's shite. Absolute shite. Ben says, Goldbridge, shout out my mate Kieran. He's struggling at fishing at the moment. Oh, fishing's an acquired taste. Bit like fish. Thanks for the follow, Tony Leslie. Corner for Arsenal. I think the thing about fishing is the relaxation. Odegaard's on his right foot, he can't shoot, but Saka's on his left, he can. Over the bar. Over the Denver. Keith Hackett, very critical of current PGML leadership of TalkSport, says grumpy old hecklers. Yeah, but he has been all season, to be fair. Keith Hackett reminds me of a grumpy old man. Did you see Baby Reindeer? If not, it's a must watch, says Jamie Cavalieri. Thank you very much, mate. And Robert says, if you could erase one event from history, what would it be? And how do you think the world would be different? Robert, I can't pick a football thing. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is Hitler. I've got to be honest. I don't know whether that's just the stereotypical answer. There's probably better answers. But if you could erase one event from history, what would it be? Oh, event. Hitler and his mum having a shag. Oh, no, not Hitler and his mum. That wouldn't change. Mark, erasing Hitler shagging his mum would not stop World War II. You'd just stop incest, or whatever they call it. I meant Hitler and his dad. No, not Hitler and his dad. That would be, again, you haven't stopped World War II. You've just stopped Hitler shagging his dad. Which, look, I don't want to get sued. It's very unlikely I'm going to get sued by Hitler, but there is no, as far as I'm aware, I don't know whether Hitler shagged his mum or his dad. My point is, I would erase Hitler's mum and dad having sex and creating Hitler. There we go. That's an event I would change. Yeah. So, see, this is what you asked me. You asked me a quite serious question, and I'm no good at that. It's an international competition. I think gold. Yes, says Jimmy. Great. Great. Have you tried cereal in the air fryer? Says Henry. No. Any tips to stop smoking? I'm struggling with it. Says Jordan. No, Jordan, because it's an addiction, isn't it? And although I did smoke, I never really smoked more than 10 a day. And I think that's not an addiction, isn't it? It's more of a vice. So I can't really help you with that. I'm trying to think of something that I've given up that was close to being an addiction. And any advice? I'll come back to you on that one. Raju says, I love the channel. What are your favourite video games from the 90s and 2000s? Also, are the German and Spanish leagues superior to the Premiership? I don't think they're superior. I just think they're more interesting. And on that bombshell, I haven't smoked in about 25 years, by the way. No, that wouldn't be right. I didn't give it up at 18. 15 years. Hugh says his brother Aaron has got an abscess in his mouth. Can you shout him out? What happened to Fofana? Says Ronan. Chelsea fans, what happened to Fofana? David Alawar says, what were your thoughts on third penalty appeal for Forest not even being reviewed? Corrupt. Oh, I've said it. Shit. I'm not meant to say that word. I've been told not to say it. But what is it then? What is it? If it's not that. Looking forward to seeing the audio from the Forest game, or even hearing, Jack. I know what you mean, though. Well, Arsenal have played really well here, but 1-0 will be a little bit nervy for them. Jamie says, World War I, Mark, since World War II and the Cold War wouldn't happen without that. There you go, James. Mark, you know Hitler's dad was the uncle of his mum, says Zinc Keeper. Well, maybe I was right then. Maybe I was right. How Manny says, hi Mark, how are you today? Do you think Lionel Messi in his peak would start every game in United's treble winning side? Yeah, of course he would. He's one of the best players to ever play the game. Thanks for the follow, Sonny and Tim. Chaz says both teams have had chances, Mark. They have. They have. I'm still trying to think something that... Addiction advice. Has anyone got any addiction advice? Because it was a fair question. If someone's trying to quit smoking, it's a hard addiction to give up. I've got to be honest. I did used to smoke, predominantly in pubs. I used to like smoking and having a drink. And when they stopped the ban, when they had the ban in pubs, I just was like, what's the point? So that sort of stopped it. Not being able to do it where I wanted to do it stopped it. Drinking... I like, but January I didn't drink for about 4 weeks, and I nearly thought about stopping altogether, but I could have stopped, but I just thought, well, I enjoy it, so I'm not. Ooh, Cross comes in, Raya gets hold of it. I think food is probably quite a difficult one. I think I find I have to be disciplined with food. Like, I always loved bread. If I walked into the kitchen and I had lasagna and chips, I'd go and get a slice of bread, which is just stupid. But I've always done it because at home we'd have bread and butter on the table because we were working class. So I've always liked bread, sandwiches, toast. If I have a bowl of soup, I'd get some bread and dip it in. So I've always liked bread, but I haven't really had any bread for about 2 months, and I found that quite hard. But I'm not bothered about it now. You had the odd craving for it, but. I gave up bread because it was just a bloody waste of time for me. It was an addition and I didn't need it. It was just a bit of like fill up on bread, you know. That's what she says Datis. Football says, is this game that boring that we're talking about bread? Says football. No, this is what we do on a watch along, mate. We have a bit of a chat as a community whilst we're watching a game. I think it's been a good game. I do. Chelsea midfield is not that bad from what I've seen today, says Zibra. It's just non-existence. Broken, useless midfield, MLS level. Attack, defend, no midfield, says Zibra. Okay. Start, bench, sell. Tomb Raider, Metal Gear Solid, and Rayman. I'd sell Rayman, I'd bench Tomb Raider, and I would start Metal Gear Solid, LFC Gamer. Games that I liked in the 90s, Desert Storm, Sonic the Hedgehog. 90s, it's not really a console game, but Sensible Soccer, Cannon Fodder, Championship Manager, Civilization, loved that. I was addicted to that over Christmas. I had to break it in the new year. Goal! Oh, he's so shit, Jackson. He's fucking rubbish. I bet he closed his eyes. What is he on about? Good cross by Gallagher. This is a goal. I even said it before. Oh, look, he's even put his bloody hand up. What is Jackson? He's got to be. It's got to be for charity. It has to be for charity. It just got to be for charity. It has to be. He's got to score there. He's just absolutely unfathomable. Is Lukaku better? Of course he bloody is. Can we get a weekly Friday film with Goldbridge, says JH? I'd love to do something like that. A USA commentator just said, who am I to question an official? It's insane, says Jonathan. No, look, Ten Hag said today in his press conference, I understand why, because he's the manager of Manchester United, and you know he's got to be careful what he says. But he said, you know, we've got to respect referees. No, we haven't. No, not in the Premier League. We don't. Respect is earned. I think you start off with a position of respect, but this season it's been eroded week after week after week after week. Would you respect somebody if you went to your local restaurant and you're looking in the kitchen and you've ordered a burger and they wipe their arse on it and then they put it on the burger? Would you respect them and go, hold on, he's a Michelin star chef. Must know what he's doing. Yeah, but he's just wiped his arse on your burger. That's probably why he's a Michelin star ref. No, he's just taking a piss. They've been wiping their arse on this league all season, multiple times, and people are still shouting respect. What about respect for us? What about respect for the game? Who's paying their wages? PGMOL. Well, who pays their wages? The Premier League. Well, who pays their wages? Football fans. We're being treated like kids in a fucking school. Respect your teacher. Fuck off. Not at school anymore. Respect the game that you're destroying and, you know, have some bloody accountability instead of spending all your time coming up with excuses and protecting the status quo. Start, bench, sell. David Villa, Berbatov or Inzaghi. Well, Villa starts. No, not Villa. You're talking about. I was thinking about Silva. Villa, Berbatov or Inzaghi. I probably would start Villa actually. I'll bench Berbatov and sell Inzaghi. Ryan. Loving the TUSF clothing return. Wanted one of the kits back in the day, but you stopped selling them. Love the content lately, especially the podcast, says Michael. Big up the podcast and the Ultras. Goldbridge Saves Football. Check it out. Ryan's back. He's having his second tug of the day. He was on the United Stand stream earlier, and he said it again. Your glasses have really got me going. Was Weghorst better than Jackson, says Ray God? At this point, I'm not even taking the piss. At this point, Wout Weghorst has got to be better than Jackson. He's got to be. He has to be. Some guy says, start, bench, sell. Papa Cisse, Weghorst, Jackson. I liked Cisse, the Newcastle striker. I think he was all right for a little bit. So I would say Jackson's got to get sold. Weghorst bench, Cisse starts. How can you say Poch out with Jackson up top, says Thiago? Because he fucking picks him. Surely there's somebody somewhere he could have got. Thomas Hopley says, my only advice is don't bother unless committed in relation to giving up smoking. Chelsea midfield, we've done that one as well. Toby on TikTok says, start, bench, sell, Bale, Neymar, Salah. I'm selling Neymar. I'm benching Bale and I'm starting Salah. And that's probably going to be very controversial, but that's what I'm standing by it. Randy got... with a name like Randy, this is not going to go well. I got embarrassed at work today. My boss had to tell me that my fly was down in the office, in his office. That's good leadership. That is good leadership. When I was in a job, I'm not going to say which one because it was professional. I was in a job, it's half time, and I was stood talking to my manager, and I just said, sorry, I've got to take a couple of minutes. And while I was doing that, the senior manager saw me do it, and I walked out, and the senior manager said, that was really rude to your manager to do that, because he was halfway through telling you something and you basically said, sorry, I just need to go and take 2 minutes. So what's the problem? And it better be serious. And I said, I don't know how to say this, but I felt like I was going to pass out and throw up because he stinks of BO. And I thought, I'm definitely going to be in big trouble. And the senior manager said, okay. Went back in, stood next to him, talking, obviously got a whiff and went, can I have a word? Took him in the office, and then the next day the bloke smelt of Lynx Africa. So I think it's good management to pull people up. As long as they didn't pull your zip up and left you to do it. Trossard scored the goal for Arsenal. It's 1-0 at half-time, and that's exactly the thing I wanted on my screen. The stats. Remember, the Stats Carousel is sponsored by OneFootball. You can download it for free through the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner. It's available on Apple and Android for free. Download it. It's 1-0 to Arsenal at half-time. They've not had most of the possession. Amazingly, you wouldn't have thought that, would you? Chelsea have had 57% possession. However, Arsenal have had 13 shots with 3 on target. Chelsea have had 5 shots with nothing on target. You're not going to have much on target when you've got Nicholas Jackson up front. I'd heard they were trying to get Stevie Wonder to come over and play up front, but he said, I'm into my 80s now. I just can't run. 3 corners to 2. Pass accuracies are about the same. Chelsea have got hope. I mean, if they could put it out on Twitter, can anybody come and play up front? Then they might get something out of this. Arsenal need the second goal. Arsenal should be winning this by 2-0, but they've not been able to put the second goal in. So it gives Chelsea a chance. And they've looked okay, Chelsea, with regards to when they have broken. But Arsenal really will be thinking, we've got to put this away. There are many people talking about United just because it's topical, not because they care. It leads to takes about Ten Hag that ignore decade-old problems. It's refreshing to have balanced chat, says Les. Will you play the new Vice City game? I will, Umzi, but it's not out for a while. I need to stretch a whole 45 minutes and I've not done it. What's this about Arteta out? Most booked managers, says Sino. And what's your opinion on Nirvana, Mark, says Jimmy. I didn't mind Nirvana, but I'm not going to pretend that I was a big fan and knew everything about them. There was 2 songs I liked, and that's the songs everybody else likes. So, yeah, I can't say I was anything. Yeah, it's a bit like when people say they like Oasis and their favourite song Wonderwall. I just feel like throwing them off a fucking table. I don't even like Wonderwall. I'm a massive Oasis fan, and my favourite songs come from the B-sides. So Wonderwall, if someone says they like Wonderwall, I'm like, you're just a plastic Oasis fan. But I would be a plastic Nirvana fan. I don't. It's only the songs that are mainstream that I know. Yeah. Hi Mark, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter? I mean, I was always crap at those games, Glenn. I liked them, but I was absolutely fucking rubbish. You know, up, down, left, right, X, circle, whatever. I'm rubbish at all that. So I would have preferred Street Fighter, but I was crap at them. I was ring shopping and she called me from my friend's place and ended it, Mark. How do I recover? I'm in shambles, says Justin. You were ring shopping. Oh, right. I thought you meant like ring. Okay, so Justin was shopping for a ring and she called him from my friend's place and ended it. How do I recover? I'm in shambles. Well, get rid of your mate as well because she's shagging him. That's detective work level 1. If you're out shopping and she's calling you from your friend's place to end it, she is shagging your friend. Now, your friend could be a girl. She's still strapping a dildo on and shagging her. That's absolutely nailed on. How do you recover? You move on. You move on. You've basically been cheated on, mate, and you're better than that. So it's a bit like grief. You've got to, do something you enjoy for a little bit and get over the pain of that. But you're better off without it. You're better off without it. What's she doing at your friend's place? Dumping you. 2 + 2 = 4 in this case. For the North London derby next week, we've got Oliver, the City fan, as ref, and Gillet, the Liverpool fan, on VAR. Arteta red incoming, says Tanishk. Shea Maxwell says, my fly was down on dinner with my girlfriend's family, but my pants were too tight and my fly stayed down the whole dinner. Loved the show, says Shea. I'm not worried about this. This is not headline news, walking around with your flies down. I've done it. I've never done it on purpose. That's harassment, but I have done it quite a lot. And as long as you've got a pair of pants on, you're all right. There's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you have a cologne collection? Says Ronan. I do. I'm just crap at remembering the names. Best era of movies, Mark. My number one is The Naughties, says Umzi. Well, let's talk football for a moment. I'll come back to that. Samir says on TikTok, how do you feel about Garnacho and Anthony actually engaging with you in the United stand? Well, I don't think anything of it really. I think they should. I think players should do it more. The mainstream media is not trusted, and it's not legitimate, and it's dying. And I think as a player these days, interacting with fans, as long as you do it in the right way, is the right way of doing it. I wouldn't read the replies. You're going to get a load of abuse. But if their approach is they see a tweet that they find interesting and they reply or like it, and it's not going to get them in trouble, of course, then I think it's the way to go. It's the world we live in now. You've got to break down the barriers of the past. A journalist going into a press conference and then writing an article that everyone's meant to believe is just pointless now. A journalist was always somebody, an individual, expressing their opinion on lots of different people with no reply. The modern world is expressing your opinion and loads of other people expressing their opinion back. I think this is the way that football needs to go. And you look at, I did a piece on my, I think it was on my LinkedIn actually the other day. I said we had 115,000 people watching the Man United commentary game, and on this channel we had 55,000 people watching Real Madrid and Man City, live viewers, not total viewers. Most mainstream just can't get anywhere near that. So I just think the way it's going. I think it's the way it's going. I think football is probably waking up to it. Start, bench, sell. Isaac, Nunez and Thuram. Sell Thuram. Oh, it's tough. I like Nunez. So you're asking me to bench Nunez for Isaac, which is the obvious thing to do, Emo. But I do like Nunez. So I would bench Nunez and I'd start Isaac at the moment. Norwegian autocorrect referee is Arteta out. He was booked, says C. And Jackson should have been sent off and he wasn't even booked. 100%. Just seen it. It's a blatant red. It's a blatant red. And Sai says that Trossard gets booked for the mild catch. That is a blatant red, vibe. That is a fucking blatant red. It's so blatant. I've done a joke tweet on Twitter. I watched something last night before I went to bed. It wasn't porn. And it was quite interesting. It was, I forget who it was. I'd love to shout them out. Maybe somebody else saw it. But it was basically saying that since 1999, nothing culturally has actually changed in this country and never will. Technology has changed, but culturally, what's changed? Film hasn't really changed. Music hasn't really changed. Nothing's really changed in the last 24 years, and nothing culturally will change for the next 20 years. Because what they were basically saying is that in the 90s, it was the last time where you could have cultural events that everybody watched. Whereas now, nobody gets around the telly at 7:30 and watches EastEnders. Everybody's watching what they want to watch. Everything's different. Lots of different opinions. So you never really get those, even things like X Factor on a Saturday night. Not everyone's watching it, are they? Or Gladiators or Ant and Dick or whatever. Like, what is... I lived in the 80s and the 80s to the 90s was just culturally ridiculously different, like so different. Even like Division 1 becoming the Premier League, it was like a massive change in football. And it got me thinking. What are your thoughts? Right, let's Goldbridge for Boreham Wood manager. They can't afford me, mate. They can't afford me. I'd love to do a bit of management, and I think I'd be bloody good at it, but it would take up a lot of time. We need to get a film crew to follow it to make it worth it. Yeah. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube, by the way. Really appreciate that. And also, if you're on TikTok, give us a follow. You're very, very welcome. Really enjoying your company as always. Arsenal got to win this game. We're doing the watch-along on Sunday, of course. Arsenal will be playing at Spurs. Spurs haven't played for 2 weeks. But, yeah, it's going to be a massive, massive game. I'm just having a look through some footballing YouTube headlines. I've only just seen this. Gary Neville says that Clattenburg should resign tonight. I look, listen to the podcast. We've got the full video up on this channel anyway, but I've got no idea what all these ex-players, and it's universal, all these ex-players have all come out in unison that complaining about the referees is a disgrace. And I'm like, I do not, for the life of me, understand what the fuck they are talking about. I don't understand why none of them have sided with fans. So it's absolutely crazy. Excuse me, that was a bit rude. That were a bit rude. What do you think about Anthony? Says Alex. I don't care. Man United's a very toxic football club at the moment, and people are just chasing any reason to be negative. It was a bit embarrassing what Anthony did, but I haven't got a problem with it. It's shithousery. Rudiger was bloody brilliant at this sort of stuff, and people championed it. I thought it was good what Rudiger did, so I don't know why it's become such a problem. Coventry fan here. Do you think we will be in the Premier League soon? Says Kieran. No, I don't. I think that with what happened in last year, you got really close, of course. I think with regards to... I just think that the parachute payments make it really hard. Escape, thank you very much for your follow there. Really appreciate that. But yeah, I think the parachute payments will always play into the hands of the teams that get relegated compared to the teams that come up. So yeah, I think you'll struggle with that. Look, I hate VAR. It was offside, but you shouldn't have that sort of situation where it takes that long. It just takes so much away from the game. Will Arsenal win this one, says SLK? Darren says Jackson might be the worst player I've seen in ages. Well, I think if Chelsea had a decent striker, they'd be, if they had Ollie Watkins up front, it probably would be 1-1. Arsenal have had the chances to make it 2-0. I think the second half is going to be very interesting. From a Man United point of view, I want Arsenal to win for 2 reasons. Arsenal, I'd rather they win the league than Liverpool or Man City for obvious reasons, but also Chelsea are 3 points behind United and they've got a game in hand. So if they lose a game and we win tomorrow, then we've got a 6-point gap on them and they've only got 1 game in hand. So yeah, it's good for United if we win tomorrow and Chelsea lose. But Chelsea are still very much in this game. Mark, check Daily Mail, please. Massive allegations, says the cheese. Can you not just tell us what they are? I hate it when people say, check this, check that. I don't know where to go and check it. I spend the next 5 minutes searching around when I've got a live stream. TLF says, I'm not happy as a Chelsea fan. And what happened to United's game against the World, says Wheelbarrow. I know. Gary Neville talks some right bollocks. What a pillock, says Goldio. Well, I called him Prime Minister of Football last year, and I think he really actually thought, I think he thinks he is. I respect different opinions, and he was a great player, but I just don't understand why why they're siding with referees over fans. It's just a weird take. I'd never do that. Coventry fan, I've done that one as well. Right, let's get ready for starting the second half. Players are out. Man United tomorrow night for me. United stand, but Everton are playing Liverpool, so we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that one. Not everybody's playing this midweek. I don't understand why some people aren't. Villa aren't playing and Liverpool aren't playing, but Solihull Moors against Halifax Town tomorrow. First playoff game for the National League. I'll be keeping an eye on that. But Everton kick off at 8 o'clock against Liverpool and Man United kick off at 8 o'clock against Sheffield United. There's 4 games tomorrow. Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Wolves, Bournemouth. We will be doing Brighton against Man City on Thursday. Well, I'll do it for as long as Brighton make it a game. If it's 3-0 up to Man City at half time, I'm turning it off and getting my Thursday night back. Noah says it's rape allegations against 2 Premier League players, and the article is from the Daily Mail. Well, I can do a little bit of work. But look, rape allegations is disgusting, isn't it? Absolutely disgusting. But in context, there's been a lot of these over the years, and they don't always end up going to court, do they? If we're being completely honest, there's a bigger argument there that's got nothing to do with football, and the actual prosecution of rape cases in this country is abysmal for various reasons that I'm not going to go into on a football show. But listen to the pod earlier. Why don't they have an iPhone attached to forum of the ref any goal? Bad tackle can be reviewed instantly by on-field ref. No Stockley consultant, says Christopher. Yeah, be a good idea. Morning, Mark from New Zealand. I'm eating breakfast at the moment. Start, bench, sell, BLT, grilled cheese, bacon and egg sandwich. I would start I'd sell a grilled cheese, I'd bench a bacon and egg, and I'd start a BLT. I do like a proper good BLT. Yeah. Can Chelsea get back into this? They'll certainly have a go. Remember, one thing we haven't said about this tonight, and it's obvious to everybody really, is that for Chelsea, they have nothing to play for other than the league. So they're not just going to sit back and let Arsenal win. They're not in the FA Cup final. They don't have that to play for. They're out. Obviously, the Carabao Cup final, they bottled that. So if they want to play in Europe next season, they've got to climb the league. So they won't go quietly into this London night. Archie says start, bench, sell, Stam. Oh, shot from Rice there. Sorry about that. Start, bench, sell, Stam, Vidic and Ferdinand. I'll probably sell Stam, bench Ferdinand, start Vidic. Vidic is my favourite. I've always said that for years. Thanks for speaking out for us, says Eliza, who's a Forest fan. I think everybody's speaking out for you who's a football fan. It's the same as Liverpool. It's the same as Wolves. It's the same as Arsenal. And plenty of others have been robbed this season. It's disgusting. I just see those 3 penalties and I can't believe you didn't get at least 2. I can't believe you didn't get 2. The third one, though, it's just pure. I mean, can it be incompetence anymore? Odegaard over the bar. Was it a red on Jackson, Mark? I just got here, says Chev. Well, they didn't give the red, but they should have given the red. Quinn, I'm not going to read that out. I'm not going to read that out. Jack says Stam was better than Rio and Vidic. Well, it's a good conversation, right? Yap Stam was brilliant. He was absolutely dominant in the air. He was ridiculously powerful. He was basically a doorman, and he was quick. I mean, he won a bloody Champions League. He won a treble. Like, he was brilliant, Stam. But the Chuff Brigade won't do it. Whatever the cost says, are you a bit fed up with the TalkSport stuff, Mark, or are you still enjoying it? What made you ask that? That's bad. I can't. What's the score, Mark? It's 1-0 to... Well, it's 2. Oh, he's missed. It's 1-0 to Arsenal. I thought Havertz had scored. Cracking ball by Odegaard. Look at this pass. That's a number 10. Oh, it's Gilchrist would have been playing him on. How's he missed? You've got to say it's a good save by Petrovic. But Havertz has got to score there. He could have squared it to Trossard for a tap-in as well. What a ball by Odegaard, though. That's what a number 10 does. Michael Hall says, are you and Simon Jordan good pals? I don't even know if I want to talk about it, really. It's just, if I talk about it, it comes across that I care. I don't care. I really don't care. It doesn't matter. As I said, we had 115,000 watching live for United Stand. We had 55,000 here. We had over 100,000 for a Euros game a couple of years ago. I love what I do. I love the interaction. I love what we've built. Nothing's better than that. Goal this time. Yes. Ben White. Ben White. 2-0 Chelsea. I'm pleased for Ben White, actually. I think he's had to deal with a lot of shit over the last few weeks about not playing for Southgate, and I agree with that. But Arteta looks like he wants to cry. I mean, there was an element of offside here, but you've just got to say, where's the Chelsea defence? It has been coming. But I don't know what they're doing. Well, it's Enzo Fernandez on the back post. Look at Enzo Fernandez on the back post with Saliba playing him onside. Look, that is incredibly bad defending by Enzo. I mean, he's an absolute prat. Saliba's just holding him there in the 6-yard box, and he's playing everybody else onside. It's one of those that looks like it might be miles offside, but it's not miles offside because Enzo Fernandez is stood next to Saliba miles away. Yeah, I don't see Chelsea coming back now. I don't see them coming back. Look, Ben White for me, we're going to do Premier League Team of the Season on the podcast at some point. Probably not Thursday, but we will do it at some point. Ben White, who's your right back for Premier? We'll do one as well. Actually, we will do one actually. In fact, we'll do it now. Let's do a poll on this. Who would be the contenders for Premier League right back of the season? Because I think it can't be Trippier anymore. He's like Ned Stark. His head's gone. He's been injured as well. So right back of the season, I think there's 4 contenders for me. There's Porro, not Porp. There's Porro, not Gusto. No, not good enough. There's Porro, there's Trent, and there's White. There ain't no way Kyle Walker's in there. Forget about it. Forget about it. There's no way. This is on YouTube. I can't do it on TikTok, by the way. Sorry. So if you're on TikTok, it's on YouTube. A lot of people are saying Trent, Porro, White. So I think we've got the right 3. But it's not Kyle Walker. No fucking way. Kyle Walker has cost Man City so many goals this season. It's unbelievable. There's no way he is the best right back in the league this season. And if people vote for him, if he gets it, you know what? I'm looking forward to the Premier League Team of the Season that gets voted for by the so-called experts this year. Because if we get fucking Kyle Walker in there and Ruben Diaz in there and people like that, like they normally do, I'll fucking lose it. Because this season, more than any season, you've got people like Van der Ven. You know, you've got people like Gabriel. There are your ball knowledge is going to be fucking exposed if the experts and journalists go with people like Diaz and Kyle Walker. Like, there's been so many. Udogie at left back for Spurs. Porro, he's been really good. Ben White's been fantastic. Trent going forward still been really good. Bruno Guimaraes, Odegaard, Anthony Gordon, Cole Palmer. Like, it's not just let's pick every Man City player this season. Like, there's some really good players that deserve to be in player of the team, player of the season that haven't won the league. So they've got to get it right this year. What about Dalot, Mark? Look, I do like Dalot, but I wouldn't say he's had as good a season as a Ben White or a Porro. I wouldn't know. Love the watch-alongs as usual, says Pant. Have you kept up with the UEFA Youth League? Lots of wonder kids coming and surprise win of Olympiakos for Greece. I haven't, but good to hear. Konza, Mark. As a right-back, I don't see Konza as a right-back, though. I see him as a centre-back. I mean, Matty Cash is the right-back, really, isn't he? Thoughts on Rice and Partey playing next to each other, says the Wheelbarrow. Long overdue. Long overdue. It's surprised me for the last month that he hasn't done it. But what a ball by Odegaard. If Havertz scores, is it... Oh. Odegaard's a fucking magician. Get him a wand and a big hat and a cloak. He's an absolute magician. Havertz scores this time, but Odegaard is just unbelievable. That's what a number 10 is. When I'm talking about Man United need a number 10, that's a number 10. All Odegaard wants to do is keep possession, probe, and then find the killer pass. It's all he wants to do. That's a number 10. That's what United need. They need a number 10 like that, who constantly will keep the ball and probe for the attacker. Absolutely brilliant. Odegaard is a magician. He is just so fucking good. What a signing by Arsenal. What a number 10. That pass as well. The thing is, it's not a one-off. He'd just done it 5 minutes ago. Magnificent. 3-0. Havertz took it well. There was talk of a foul in the build-up, but it would be criminal to wipe that goal out because the pass by Odegaard is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Havertz celebrates against Chelsea. Well, I forgot about that. Quavers or Monster Munch, says Tig. If it's prawn cocktail Quavers, sign me up. Phil Jones says it was a clear foul on Madueke. Yeah, if I was a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't be happy about that. But then again, you're not going to win anyway. What does it mean for the league table, Mark? Well, it's funny you say that because I do have a league table to show you. And it looks a lot like this. Arsenal top. Massively superior goal difference at the moment. 77 points as well. Man City got to lose though, haven't they? If Man City win and draw, they would be... well, no. Arsenal need Man City to not win a game. You know, the interesting thing is... And I'm not really going to commit to this at the moment, but imagine Man City do draw a game and Arsenal need to win every game to win the league. They've got to go to Old Trafford. As a Man United fan, would I want Arsenal to beat us so that they stop Man City or Liverpool winning the league? I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can say yes. I don't think I can because we might need those points for 6th place. Lovely take by Trossard. 2v2 up against Disasi. And they've done well there. Yeah, anyway, going back to the wheelbarrow, I really like Partey and Rice in there because I just think Arsenal are a better team when Rice isn't the only defensive midfielder. I think more of a box-to-box player in Partey really does help. So it's a bit of a glimpse of the next stage of the Arteta revolution, because I think Partey will go this summer, but if they bring a midfielder in like that, I think it makes them a better team. Thanks for the follow, old UMG. Ross Barkley for Team of the Year, says Simon. Not for me. Was this a foul on Madueke? Probably. It probably is. But it was a red card for Jackson. Tom says, do you think United deserve to be in the FA Cup final? Hold on a minute. Jackson. Oh my God, he's so shit. He's so shit. Chelsea fans, stop defending it. He's fucking rubbish, mate. How do you hit the side netting from 2 yards out and the whole goal to hit? He's so shit. I'm better than him up front. There's no doubt. I'm scoring that. What's he even hitting? What is he even hitting? My phone's going. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Stevie Wonder says he'd finish that. Fucking unbelievable. He's so... Sorry, Miss Jackson, says Lee Berman. He is crap. Absolutely crap. Surely Chelsea fans can't defend that. I mean, isn't he the twat who was fucking DMing that OnlyFans Chelsea fan as well? I mean, his bloody eyesight's terrible. What? That was the warning, wasn't it? He's so bad. You can't. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. Every game I watch him, he's bloody terrible. He should have scored 2 against Man City. He should have scored 2 tonight. That's 4 goals. You'd be in an FA Cup final and you'd be chasing down 6th. Look, Chelsea have spent £1 billion. There's no doubt about that. But if you'd bought a striker, you wouldn't be where you are. How many points has he cost you this season? How many trophies has he cost you this season? It's mad. Alfie and Rico, thanks for the follow. He's terrible. He's so fucking rubbish. It's not even a joke anymore. Yeah, I'm not doing Liverpool-Everton tomorrow, or Everton-Liverpool, because I'm doing United-Sheffield United on United stand. I will obviously be keeping an eye on it. You made Fabrizio famous. Now he's got 2 million followers. I don't think I did, Parker. Reckon you could take Angry Ginge in a scrap, says Manny Boy. Well, I'd never fight Angry Ginge, so I don't know. We'd have to ask him. I doubt Arsenal play at a complete different tempo to United, to Sheehan. Well, they've got the players to do it, haven't they? Mazza says, can we do a worst striker to play for Chelsea, Werner or Jackson? Well, in the right-back debate, 47% of you went for White as right-back of the year. 32% went with Trent and 21% went with Porro. I'm just going to do this one as well. End poll. Okay. Worst striker to play for Chelsea. Worst Chelsea striker. Well, Arsenal have made very easy work of this, but it could have been closer. If it's 4-0. It's 4-0 and it's Havertz again. It could have been closer if Jackson knew what that white thing with the net on was. But this is brilliant for Arsenal's goal difference now. This is turning into a real boost for their goal difference. I don't. At what point does the media start on Poch? It's incredible to me how he just gets away with it all the time. And people say he's only had one season. Well, look at Ange's first season. Look at Ten Hag's first season. But I will say this. If Chelsea had a striker, I think it would be different. How do you spend £1 billion and not buy a striker? Well, they did, but they didn't, you know? They didn't. And also, Chelsea's recruitment around injured players is incredible. Nkunku, Fofana, Lavia. Terminally injured all the time. Which club would a striker choose this summer? Chelsea or Man United, says Neil. Depends who's in Europe. That will be a big factor. Depends what they're going to pay them. That will be a big factor. Depends who the player is. That will be a big factor. And it depends. And what I mean by that is Chelsea could get a player over Man United or Liverpool if that player is one of these modern type players who likes money and living in London. The type of player that you want is a player that's joining you for the football project. But there's a lot of players now that will go, well, they're going to pay me good money. I'm going to live in London. Live the London life, you know. So Chelsea will always attract players, yeah. Could it be 6-0, says Flying Biscuit? I think we should do a 1v1 crossbar challenge, says Manny. You'll lose. Bloody good at them. Make sure you subscribe if you want. If you can. Bottom right-hand corner. I mean, that's not a bad couple of subs for Arsenal, is it? Martinelli and Jesus. They got a big game coming up on Sunday, but that's 5 days away. So Arsenal in control here with 23 minutes to go. 80% have gone with Jackson over Werner as worst Chelsea striker ever. Well, maybe not ever, but who's the worst striker out of those two? Do you think football is corrupt? No. I think it's incompetent, and I think it's a dictatorship, which can lead to very similar outcomes as corruption. But corruption's a very strong word. I just think that it's a dictatorship where they don't listen to people and they spend more time covering their own backside and telling each other how great they are, and they don't learn. And some would say, you know, corruption is deliberately doing things for corruptive reasons. What's worse, corruption or people who aren't corrupt but just won't listen to anybody else and improve? And I think that's what's happening with the officiating. They're just all very arrogant people who don't want to listen and believe that they're right. Do you think Ten Hag could do what Arteta has done, says the Wheelbarrow? I think we spend too much time in football comparing people when every project, every club, every situation is different. Could Arteta do what Klopp's done at Liverpool? I very much doubt it. Could Klopp do what Arteta's done at Liverpool, at Arsenal? You know, every situation is really difficult and different. Look, Ten Hag built a really good football club at Ajax, but that's the Eredivisie. In season 1 at United, he looked like he was building something interesting, and season 2 was going to be better. Season 2 for us, like Newcastle and Chelsea, has been very, very difficult, and injuries have played a very, very big part. I just think with Ten Hag, give him season 3. Oh my God. Ben White's a baller. Ben White's a baller. It's just, I thought he was going to cross it. If he means this, and I think he does, he's just lobbed it in from the right-hand side over the keeper. I think he's saying I didn't mean it. I think he's saying I didn't mean it. Yeah. I don't think he meant it. Because if he did mean it, it's absolutely amazing. Watch this. 5-0. 5-0 with 20 minutes to go. Sack Poch tonight. He's got to go. Yeah, Miles onside, Ben White. Yeah, he's not meant that. Yeah, he hasn't meant that. No. He's crossing that to the back post and it's gone in. If I was Ben White, though, the way his head's looking, I would say I meant it. But I don't think he did mean it. I don't think he did mean it. But I would claim it. A 5-0. This is very good for Arsenal's goal difference, though. I mean, Man City are capable of, you know, pumping teams, but Arsenal whacking the goal difference in, very, very important. Mark just got here. Wow, what's happened to Chelsea, says Sebastian. Yash says, who's bad? And hello, Mark, you've just described how the world works, says Mrs. Stone. Yeah. Surely media pundits can call Poch out if consistent, says Michael. Oh, they won't do. They love Poch. Jaden, thanks for the follow. Chelsea's goal difference is taking a bit of a pounding. It is. They are currently... Arsenal's goal difference is 56 and Chelsea's is down to 4. Newcastle have got 17, so no one's going to get near them in that race for 6th. So, Cat, Bowler and Trilby, Ben White's on a hattie, says Jurgen. And 9 months in and we've got no structure, says Blues Enthusiast. We conceded the most goals in our history. Get this Spursy prig gone tonight. Refund the fans. This is disgusting. And Parker says, media won't start on Poch because no one cares about Chelsea. Media will sympathise with Poch tomorrow whilst calling for Eric's head. Poor Poch, no Palmer. Eric only missing 2 players and such media crap, says Wayne List. Klopp took over depleted Liverpool and fixed it. Arteta took over toxic Arsenal, held his own cleaning out big egos, then made his own team, says Robinson Crusoe. Yeah, the interesting thing about Arteta is it didn't start to work until like year 3, did it? Or was it year 4? Manny says, give us a sue. Oh, I don't do that anymore. Those days are gone. If you've got Ben White in your FPL team like Niall, you're laughing. There are other games going on tonight. Shut up. So, do Leicester get promoted tonight? Is that how it works? They've got 94 points as it stands. No, they don't go up tonight. They don't go up tonight. No, they don't. I've got Havertz, White and Odegaard in my team, says Selwyn. Well done. Arteta, manager of the season, or am I too reactive, says Shahin. I think Emery's got to be up there as well, hasn't he? I mean, it can't be Pep. I don't think Pep deserves manager of the year for winning the title with a team that everyone said would win the team at the start of the season. So I don't think it can be Pep. I think it's a joke if Pep gets it. It can't be manager of the year who wins the Premier League every year. Otherwise, it's boring. So, for me, well, look, if Klopp wins the league, you give it Klopp, wouldn't you? So, good tackle, Declan Rice. The difference between Klopp, Arteta and Erik Ten Hag is they have two big ones to call out and sell the garbage. Still in Erik Ten Hag, though. Hope he gets the backing, says Mrs. Stone. The score is 5-0 to Arsenal with 16 minutes to go. If both squads are 100% healthy and Erik Ten Hag and Poch switch club, who finishes higher, says Universal Soldier? I don't know. As I just said a few minutes ago, it's very difficult to do hypothetical comparisons in football because the challenge Pochettino would have with that Man United squad is that it's still very much built on 3 or 4 previous managers and different styles of play, and they don't fit together. The problem Ten Hag would have at Chelsea is that they don't really have there's a lot of good players there, but I don't know how you mould them together, and they don't have a striker. I think Chelsea are a good striker away from being able to get near the top 4. I've said that for 18 months. Wouldn't it be a tad naive, says Kyle, to think boxing is the only sport to have matches fixed? Some referees are receiving fat paychecks to referee in the desert when they come back and make dodgy calls in big games. Thanks, Kyle. Blues Enthusiast says, sad thing is these owners and sporting directors will do nothing and come out with more trust the process bullshit. When have we ever been a process club, says Blues Enthusiast. And Liverpool fan here, hope Chelsea keep Poch for the next decade and praying United stick with Erik Ten Hag for a decade as well. I'm loving it, says Abraham. And Mark, why don't United buy players from top Premier League clubs like Arsenal do? United used to do that in the past. I mean, I suppose the point, that was from Hasher, I suppose the real point is, what about there's talk about Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Barcelona needing managers. If Chelsea got themselves in the ring, where would you go? The manager market's not that good. Amorim being interviewed by West Ham surprised me. I'd have thought Bayern or Barca or Liverpool would have gone for him. Nagelsmann's staying at Germany. Alonso's staying at Leverkusen. Klopp's obviously not going to go anywhere else. He's leaving Liverpool. So it's a difficult managing market to enter, and I don't think Chelsea will sack Pochettino. I really don't. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans talk about Mourinho, but I think that would be a big mistake. I do. I think that would be a big mistake. I think there's a reason that Jose struggled at Spurs, and I think that's because football's moved on from his amazing style of football, in the sense that worked. It was of its time. Would you take Locatelli or Paqueta, says Mrs. Stone? Well, two very different types of players, aren't they? I mean, I like Locatelli, but I think at Man United, a proper number 10 would be fantastic, wouldn't it? But Locatelli, I mean, I haven't really noticed. I don't really watch Italian football anymore, if I'm being honest. Well, I do, but it's hard to pick up on highlights. Do you rate Inzaghi, says Bradley? I think it's always a risk to bring in a unknown, which is something that Liverpool might be doing if they go for this coach from the Eredivisie. But as I said, the manager market's there's not a dead cert in there. Got White on my FPL, says Becky, and is my captain. Liverpool will not win now because of the goal difference. Great show, says Becky. That's an interesting point, actually. I mean, are we ruling Liverpool out because of goal difference? I wouldn't rule Liverpool out, because if Man City draw a game and then win all their other games, and then Liverpool win all their games but Arsenal lose a game, Liverpool could still win it. I still think Man City will win it. I'd say Arsenal are probably second favourites at the moment, but Parker says, does Seb know his dad's a celeb? He sort of does. He sort of does. I'm not a celeb anyway. I've never seen that. But like, what I meant is, like, sometimes we'll be out and people say, Goldbridge, can I have a picture or something? So he's aware of that. Just One says, only threat to City is Spurs away. And I don't think that's a massive threat. I mean, I was looking at Man City's games the other day. I don't see where they drop any points, really. They've got Brighton away, Forest away, Wolves at home, Fulham away, Tottenham away, West Ham at home. I mean, you're looking at those away games. Tottenham's tough, but top four might be gone by then for Tottenham. Fulham are a decent team, but I don't think they're good enough to beat Man City. Forest are fighting for survival, but they're not good enough to beat Man City. And Brighton this year, look, if De Zerbi wants the Liverpool job, stop Man City, you know. No Cole Palmer, no Chelsea. They'd be 17th or 18th without him, says Chev. 5-0 is crazy, you know. Hanno says on TikTok that 5-0 is crazy. 5-0's not... I mean, it's not acceptable, is it? Arsenal, Chelsea, it's not acceptable to get beat 5-0. I mean, if Man United were playing Liverpool or Man City and it was 5-0, it's not like you just go, oh, whatever. And I know, and it has happened, so... It's not just an, oh, you know what? It's a drubbing. It's a humiliation. What do you think from the rumour of Liverpool maybe going for Jose Mourinho? It's bullshit, Siegfried. Liverpool fans may be many things, but they are not stupid, and they will not accept that. Do you rate Spalletti? He did well at Napoli, says Mrs. Stone. Yeah, but he's never going to get a Premier League job, a top one. Mark, could United play a 4-3-3 and change it up, says Bounty? Well, we sort of do play a 4-3-3, really, when you think about it. We've got a front three and a midfield three and a back four. Thanks, Bounty Hunter. Chelsea just trying to go through the motions now. Arsenal just not relenting. They've got players on that will want to impress. Jesus, Martinelli. Declan Rice hits the post. Odegaard blocked. Nearly 6. Yeah, Liverpool fans won't want Jose Mourinho. There's no way they'll get Jose. I mean, that's got to be the bullshit story to try and wind me up of the night as well. I mean, Jose Mourinho can't manage Liverpool because he managed Man United. But also, his style of football is the complete opposite to Jurgen Klopp. Like, it can't happen. I'm ending the poll. Jackson got 80% of the vote to Werner. Well, sorry, 79% to Werner's 21% on worst Chelsea striker. Just for my own interest, who's winning the league? Let me just do that. Who is winning the league? City, Arsenal, or Liverpool? What's the time? 20 to 10 in the UK. Oh, 83 minutes and 30 seconds. I can see Simeone as a Liverpool manager, says Mrs. Stone. Don't think he fits the brief. I think Liverpool have to... They've got to go for somebody who plays football like Klopp, because, trust me, the worst thing you can do when you're replacing your manager is bring somebody in who has a completely different philosophy on style of football, because everything that Klopp's built and the players that he's brought in are built around that style of football. So if you bring a counter-attacking coach in, you've got to change all those players or get them to play a certain way. You can't do that. Look at what Man United did. They went from Sir Alex to David Moyes. Fucking idiotic. And we've never recovered from it. So if Liverpool... And they won't do it anyway, because Liverpool have got a style of play. But you can't go for a manager that plays defensive. I mean, I heard that Thomas Frank was being linked to the job, and I laughed. I was like, this is a guy who has 30% possession and counters. No way. Absolutely no way. Please check Newcastle versus United fixtures, says Caleb. I think Newcastle's running's quite good. I think Newcastle have got to be favourites to get 6th, because they're in 6th. They've got a better goal difference. They've got Palace away tomorrow, Sheffield United at home, Burnley away, Brighton at home, Man United away, and Brentford away. So I think Newcastle maybe only have got 2 games that they're going to drop points in. I can see them winning 4, and I think that'll be enough. Man United's biggest thing this season is to not get the worst ever Premier League total, which was... What was it we got in the Ranieri Collar year? Was it 59? So we need 3 wins from the last 6 to at least replicate our worst ever Premier League season, which is just not surprising when you think about what we've been through. I think Liverpool are going to go through 2 or 3 managers, says Mrs. Stone. I personally think Jurgen Klopp might come back to Liverpool in a year or 2. If it doesn't go well for Liverpool and Klopp's well rested, he's definitely young enough to come back. I mean, look, what's Klopp going to do? Completely retire? Don't think so. If he doesn't completely retire, he can never manage in the Premier League again unless he manages Liverpool. So, Whoops says, I just want to say I really love the video. Football is finished and real respect to you. Keep up the good work. Thanks, mates. Appreciate that. Do you think Mbappe and Haaland will be the new Messi and Ronaldo? No, Bart. They're nowhere near. That's disrespectful. Messi and Ronaldo, at their ages, were already winning Ballon d'Ors and smashing records. Don't compare. If we get another Messi and Ronaldo, we're not living in the real world. Like, it's the Matrix. Messi and Ronaldo we'll never see again. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. You'll know when there's another Messi or Ronaldo. And you'll know by the age of the 19. There's and also, even if you get another Messi or Ronaldo, it's not just the pure ability, it's the durability to do it year after year after year after year. That was something that people don't understand as well. Not only were they 2 of the greatest ever, they never really got injured, and they did it year after year after year after year after year. So I don't think we'll ever see that again. What trophies are most likely to win first? Who, says Reese. What trophies are you talking about? Odegaard. Another lovely ball to the right-hand side. Martinelli. Not Martinelli, it's Vieira. Ooh, side netting. Good shot. Martin Saunders, I want Liverpool to get Stevie G. See what Carragher says about that. I tell you what, it would be great to put Steven Gerrard in charge of Liverpool, watch it disintegrate, and then watch Jamie Carragher say absolutely nothing week in, week out. I can't say anything, he's my mate. It'd be like Gary and Ollie. Ten Hag should be kept. He turned crap to Silva, says Bounty Hunter. What do you think about Ranieri at Liverpool? Oh, I'd hate that. I'd hate that, the individual. I genuinely think Ranieri's a good coach. And I think United... What the problem was, some of our fans really know what they're talking about. And we really liked Ranieri. He spoke loads of sense. But the journalists around United are absolutely clueless. And they ridiculed him from day one. It was almost like he was a supply teacher from Germany. They had no idea about what Ranieri had been doing for the last 10 years, tactically and building football clubs. And they ridiculed him week in, week out. And he's the guy who spoke the most sense since Sir Alex Ferguson left. May says, how do you watch football without sound? You know what? It's really hard, but I've been doing it for so long. I've got used to it. But I can't remember the last time I watched a football game with audio. What is more likely to score than Jackson's to see? We did that on Saturday. Basically anything dead. Infinity and Beyond says Ralph Rangnick was crap. Worst appointment in the Premier League. Yeah, all right, mate. Are you Lucas in disguise? Are you Lucas in disguise? Just wide by Martinelli. Do you watch any true crime on the box or interviews with suspects on YouTube, says Kenneth? No. No. Like I said, I watched that Blue Lights and I really enjoyed it because it was probably the most authentic thing I've seen in years in relation to response policing. I thought it was really good. Opinions on slowly buying back, says Adar. What, Portsmouth? Do well to get in the Premier League, mate. Tuchel to Liverpool sounds scary, says Rickard. Tuchel to Manchester United sounds even more scarier. I'm going to do a match reaction, but I don't know what angle to go with. It's either Arsenal are incredible or Poch out. I don't believe in Poch out, so I think I'll go with the more positive headline. Could just say Chelsea is shit. Have you watched Snowfall? Says Akib. No. I have heard of it. Hi Mark, just moved to Nottingham. Any tips? Says Joseph. Yeah, move out. Put your house up for sale. No, I'm only joking. I didn't even live in Nottingham, really. I lived in Nottinghamshire, which was very rural and was actually closer to Leicester. I never really felt an attachment to Nottingham, really. The place I have the most attachment to is probably Dublin. I love Dublin. That's the place where I'm happiest. When I go back there, I just love it. I know everything about it, and it's a big city, and I just know it like the back of my hand. I love Dublin. That's the place for me. And I'm not Irish, but that's the place that I felt that I went and became who I am today. Grew up living in a capital city. You should watch Steven Seagal's Lawman. It's like Cops. He's a real deputy, apparently. I can't watch Steven Seagal anymore, Universal Soldier. The stuff you read about him. If I was Bowley, I'd sack Poch after this. Pathetic, says Cal. What year do you think Chelsea will be back in the top four, says Chat? Mate, they could do it next year. No one was putting Spurs in the top four this year. Shout out to the Cotgrave. All round there's good. Bingham, Cotgrave, Keyworth, West Bridgeford, Radcliffe-on-Trent, Cropple Butler, Langer, Canolton. You know, all round there's good, but it's very rural. Do a poll on Arsenal incredible or Poch out, says the one dog. I'm not doing Poch out, though, because I don't agree with it. Thanks for all the follows on TikTok, by the way. You're legends. And on YouTube, we are very close to 143,000 subscribers. We're only 80 away, so please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Our next watch along on here is actually Thursday night, Brighton Man City. Don't think Brighton have got a hope. And I will switch it off if they're losing 3-0 at half time. But you never know. You want to be there if it does happen, don't you? Do you think Everton will do Liverpool tomorrow? You never know in a derby. I mean, I'd say Liverpool will have too much for Everton, but I wasn't impressed with Everton against Chelsea. And even in the Forest game, I know they won 2-0, but Forest should have had 3 penalties. So is that a bit of a spin on the result? But I think that the fact that it's a derby and it's at Goodison and they could end Liverpool. Well, look, if they beat Liverpool, that's the end of their title hopes probably. So Poch isn't the real issue anyway, says Rub. We have players who are not good enough to be Chelsea players, and ownership is a big issue. The trouble you've got is those players that are not good enough to be Chelsea players have probably got another 5 years on their contract. So how do you get rid of them? That was always the risk that Bowley took. His heart was in the right place, but his brain wasn't. And he spent a lot of money on these massive contracts. And when you look at Disasi and Mudryk and Madueke and plenty of others, Badashil, they need to get really good really quick, or they're going to be big problems for you for a long time. Do you miss Guinness, Club Orange and Tato's? Well, I don't miss Guinness. I can get that, Liam, but Club Orange is a great drink. Martinelli's through 1-on-1. Could they hit them for 6? No. Good save by Petrovic, who's probably saved about 4 goals going in. Live in Monaghan, an hour from Dublin, says Bounty Hunter. Carr says, what's your thought on Coventry getting robbed? You've had your day out. You had a bit of excitement. Move on. You lost. I've already given you some sympathy because I don't like VAR, but it was offside. It was a fair penalty shootout. You missed more than us. We won. You came back from 3-0 down. Well done. It was offside. VAR ruins goal celebrations. Welcome to the Premier League. We were shit letting you back into it, but you didn't deserve to win. You lost. It's as simple as that. You've had 2 days of, like, well done, Coventry. Now it's time to move on. We won. And so did Arsenal. 5-0. Demolition job. Easy work for Arsenal in the end, considering it was 1-0. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm on United Stand tomorrow night for Man United against Sheffield United. Come over, Coventry fans. You might get to rib me back, but Arsenal's title pursuit carries on, and we'll be back on here on Thursday night with Man City at Brighton. But it still rolls on. Take care, everyone. I'm going to go and do a quick match reaction now. I'll pop that up, and I'll speak to you all later. Take care.